For as long as I can remember, I've experienced what I call a multi-dimensional reality. And some of the things that has involved means being able to see energy. So as a child, for instance, I could see if a person was angry. I'd see it in their energy field. The colours would change. I could see if a person was lying because their energy field would change. That's just sort of I could see my mother was a gypsy, and so we travelled all over New Zealand working with native plants. And so one of the things that I could do from a very, very early age was to be able to see the plants in nature that had the healing patterns that would address what I would see in a person. Does that make sense to you? So it's like being able to see the problem, but then being able to see the solution. And that's been a part of my reality for as long as I can remember, to be able to, one, see the patterns that are causing disharmony or dis-ease in a person. So if we think about health or well-being in ourselves or our children, is always based on a state of ease. Ease. Another word for ease is what? Harmony. The realm of flower essences work to restore harmony. Vibrational medicine works to restore harmony to something that was disharmonious. That realm of the multidimensional reality, or the realm of being able to see the ancestors, or see anything in the energy field, or see the future, or whatever it may be, is the realm of what's called the fourth dimension. So the third dimension is the world that we can touch. You know, we can touch it, it's solid. We can see it, we can taste it, smell it, etc., measure it. That's the world of the third dimension. Fourth dimension is the world of, anyone know what that is? So if we've got third dimensions, what we can touch, see, measure, what might the fourth dimension be?
A dimension in which you can feel and absorb energy, but you can't actually see it in a reality with these eyes, but you can with the inner.
That's absolutely, yeah, a really, really good answer. It's another way of putting it is it's the world of vibration. So let me ask you this: have you ever been in a house and there's been an argument, and okay, the argument stopped, but what does the house feel like, or the room? Feels awful, doesn't it? Sorry?
Cut the ear with a knife.
That's right. That's the realm of the fourth dimension. We're all familiar with it. We just haven't been taught it. Once again, the old cultures, that was part of the training. So that's the realm of the fourth dimension. That is just as real. But of course, we negate that all the time, don't we? So let's just say there's an argument and the child says, "Mummy, what's wrong?" "Nothing, nothing." So we negate that to ourselves, and we negate it for our children, you know. So can anyone else give me some examples of, just in your everyday life, some awareness of the fourth dimension?
A positive example, which would be, you feel like you need to meet someone in order to facilitate something.
Brilliant.
And it's not necessarily a specific person, and then later in the day you happen to meet that person and
right.
they have the answer that you need, or something
just
that
absolutely
flows.
beautiful.
So it doesn't have to be about.
That's right. It's that connection.
Things coming to you can be about positive things
and
going
that's
on as well.
The web. So while we're all familiar with the internet, and we call it the web, don't we? Everything's connected. But in the old teachings, for instance, say the spider was very, and we think, oh, spiders have got bad press. But actually, if we go way back to the teachings, we say the goddesses' teachings, if you like, or the ancient earth wisdom teachings, then the spider symbolised the web, and that each and every one of us has the potential to, on our web, feel any movement. Whether it be somebody, like you're just saying, you know, we need to connect with somebody. So it's a beautiful image, isn't it? That each and every one of us has a level of sensitivity that can feel what is on our web. And that's the fourth dimension. So when it gives a whole other meaning to wellness, because we just tend to focus on wellness as, oh, we're feeling well and we're feeling great today. But wellness is being able to do that, you know. Wellness is being able to trust that, because that the life becomes so much bigger. And each and every one of us, you know, I hear people say, oh, I'm not clairvoyant, I'm not this, I'm not psychic. You know, don't need to sort of get into are you this or are you that in terms of skills, and there are very specific skills, and I might talk about that later, but I probably won't, because otherwise I'll go off track and go somewhere else. But each and every one of us has this ability, which at its very, perhaps one word to describe that sensitivity of the fourth dimension is the word clairsentience. And clairsentience is a French word, and it quite simply means clear sensing. There it is there, clear, French for clear, sentience, sensing. Sentience. Clear sentience, clear sensing. So we all have that ability. One way, for instance, you can be around somebody who's sad, and you can start to feel sad. Felt that? That's clear sentience. Except equally, you can be around somebody who's happy, and you'll feel that. So all of these skills that we have, clairsentience being one of them, have to be carefully managed so that they work for us. Because if we don't understand them, then they don't work for us, and it can feel like a curse instead of the blessing that it is. And so another arm of what I do is have the Medicine Woman Centre for Shamanic Studies, which isn't just for women, it's certainly not, it's just Medicine Woman means the old teachings. And so that teaches you about this fourth dimension. But today we're talking about vibrational medicine. So just coming back to the...
Can I ask a question about that, Clezzy?
Yes, certainly.
Does everybody experience it in a similar level, or is that, like, you know how you say, like, if you're around somebody that's happy, you feel happy, if you're around someone that's sad, you feel sad? Do people have a difference in that? Like, do some people feel that more than others compared to who they are, or is it just a natural thing that everybody feels?
Everybody has clairsentience to a greater or lesser degree. Some have squashed it down, some have don't understand it, so they don't use it properly, but everybody has clairsentience to varying degrees. Let's just say I've got a client, I never seen that client before. The client's got a great big long list of things that come to see me for, and where do we start? Where do we start? So, according to what gift I'm working with, but clairsentience is the easiest. It's the most accessible, it's just straight in. So I'll just jot down my notes of what the person is saying to me, and all the time I'm feeling, and I'll get a little electric shock in my scalp when Spirit's telling me there's the energy there. That person's got a list of, say, 50 things, but that's where you go. That's where that's the part that you need to go to. Does that make sense to you? So I know, right, okay, that's where I'm going to go. And I might have 2 or 3 of those, and there'll be varying degrees of intensity, but out of all the things she said, we'll deal with those later, because this is the heart of what that person needs to be working with now. And if I'm using clairsentience, I might run my hand over the flower essences, and the one that's right for her will get a little electric shock. Or else I might, use from the book, from the logical, but also I may use clairsentience to help select. So clairsentience is an incredibly powerful gift. And once again, coming back to that's a quality that our orchid children, indigo children, whatever you want to call them, have in abundance, and just so much that they actually can't cope with, and they're in a world which is so overloaded with stimuli that many of them just shut down because they can't cope with this huge influx of energy. So, for instance, an orchid child, let's say, we're with the use anything, can be sharp. Everything is just energy and vibration, remember? So anything sharp, let's say, what's your name?
Chris.
If Chris has a pen and Chris is just talking with her pen, there's a line of energy that comes from that pen and that would hurt my eye. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a line, everything is just lines, sharp buildings, and I think that's where Feng Shui comes from as well, that awareness of lines of energy. So an orchid child has incredibly high levels of sensitivity, so things can actually hurt them. So their energy fields really need strengthening, their skins. You know, we have 7 layers of skin at a physical level, we have 7 layers of skin at a metaphysical level. So their skins need strengthening because they are really, really, really thin-skinned, literally at a metaphysical level. And so things that are normal for them are just, oh, I can't, it's too much. So that's just a little example of Clairsentience, say, as a very little thumbnail sketch of that.